to hear about Clem. Must be a terrible disappointment to you knowing the sacrifices you've made and to end up like this.
Thank you, Tamsin. I'm so very pleased to see you. Oh, he was so good as a child, so tender and kind. Who would have thought he would grow up to treat me like this?
There are worse women in the world than Eustacia Vi.
But it was she who led on your husband. I would swear to it.
No, it was before he knew me. A mere flirtation.
Very well. So be it. Clem must do as he will. It's nothing to me anymore.
You are too unyielding,
Oh,
Aunt.
don't lecture me, Thomasin. I'm just a poor weak creature. Just as forlorn as when my husband's spirit flew away. I've been here ever since, never attempting to mend matters at all.
Forget all that and be soothed, dear Aunt. I shall come and visit you every day.
Thank you, Tamsin, you dear sweet girl. Now, how is Damon? Was he kind to you?
Yes, but, dear Aunt, I've come to ask your guidance on a private matter. Damon will not give me any money of my own to spend, and I'm at a loss as to what to do about it.
Well, he must be made to. I'm sure I can help you. Leave it to me.
Thank you, Aunt.
Ollie, if Christian is still outside, would you fetch him for me, please?
Yes, Mum.
Now, Christian, there is something I would like you to do for me. Now, listen carefully, Christian. Here are 2 money bags that I am entrusting to you.
Money bags? Yes, Mum. What should I do with them?
You are to give 1 to Master Clem and 1 to Miss Tamsin. It's very important you deliver them only to their hands. Do you understand?
Yes, Mum. To their own hands. Yes, Mum.
It will be better not to get there until after dusk. Then no one will notice you.
A brewer without any farm, he makes most pitiful beer. A brewer without any farm, he makes the most pitiful beer.
Go on, my
Just in another such case as the shoemaker wanting of leather. But our little Aldi. A brewer without any farm, he makes the most pitiful beer. A brewer without any farm, he makes the most pitiful beer. And just in another such case as a shoemaker wanting of leather.
Christian!
But
No, you
our
haven't
little
Aldi. Oh, the winner!
You are a lucky man, Christian.
I was just on my way to see your wife with this money.
Were you now? Perhaps we should test your luck again.
Poor Christian, led into gambling by that wicked Wild Heath. They say he came home in a terrible state last night.
See, Mrs. Yeobright gave him some money bags for her son Clem and her niece Tamsin.
But then that wicked Wild Heath, he cheated him out of the lot.
Oh, poor Christian. Who would have thought to give him so much money?
I heard about that. But the joke of it all is that the riddle man arrived.
And won it all back and gave it to Tamsin.
Well, then she'll be wondering why Clem hasn't yet thanked her. They're still estranged, though.
That's what I heard. Yeah,
Oh, wow, I didn't think he had either.
I know Tamsin received her money because I have this letter from her. But no word from Clem. Christian, are you sure you gave the guineas directly to him?
Oh, I'm sure Mr. Clem has got his money safely. Mr. Waldeave is a good man.
Whatever has Mr. Wildeve got to do with it? Come, Christian, tell me at once. I shall go to Eustacia this very day and ask whether Clem received his money.
Oh, I'm sure Mr. Waldeave has given the money to her. He won it all from me with a lucky dice, missus.
What? And he's going to keep it?
I hope not. He said you ought to give Mr. Clem's share to Eustacia, so perhaps that's what he will do himself.
I must find out. You disobeyed my strict instructions. You may go. coming to see you.
Indeed, I did not expect you.
On business only. Will you excuse me asking you this? Have you received a gift from Tamsin's husband?
A gift?
Of money?
Money from Mr. Wilding? No, never. Madam, what do you mean by such a question? You ought to have a better opinion of me.
I ask simply for Clim's sake. Where is the money I sent to him with Christian? I am told Mr. Wilding cheated him out of it all.
What money? I have never wronged you.
No, but I was convinced Clim ought not to marry you and tried to dissuade him. But it is done now. I was ready to welcome you.
That is all very well. But why should you think there's anything between me and Mr. Wilding? And Mr. Wilding has given me no money.
I could not help what I thought, but I've never spoken of you outside my house.
You spoke of me to Clim, and you could not do worse.
I did my duty.
And I will do mine.
Don't rage at me, madam. It ill becomes your beauty, and I am not worth the injury you may cause it on my account, I assure you. I am just a poor woman who's lost a son.
You have caused a division that cannot be healed.
Let me finish and I will go. You stand on the edge of a precipice, Eustacia. Just show my son half the temper you've shown me, and you'll find that while he is gentle as a child with you now, he can be as hard as steel.
Master Clim. LB.
Getting better, Humphrey, though I still can't see well enough to read.
'Tis all that studying you've been at. If yours was a low-class work like mine, you could carry on just the same.
Humphrey, how much do you get for cutting faggots?
Well, £half a crown 100. And in these long days, I can live very well on it.
Can I try?
Le poids des jours à nos barquets rendu la parole fleur est plus belle à son retour. L'oiseau reprend du chant d'amour, tu célébrer dans la nature le poids des jours.
Clim, how can you sing? If I were a man in your position, I would curse rather than sing.
Eustacia, I didn't see you there, though I did notice something moving. I found something I can do. I'm going to be a furze cutter.
No, Clim, my grandfather will help us.
We won't need it. We'll be fairly well off.
But isn't so dreadful? A furze cutter.
I suppose when you first saw me, I was wrapped in some sort of golden halo. A man who knew glorious things and was mixed in brilliant scenes. And here I am now, a poor fellow wrapped in brown leathers.
Don't taunt me. I won't be depressed any more. I'm going out this afternoon. There is a village dance in East Egdon, and I shall go.
To dance?
Why not? You can sing.
Shall I come fetch you?
If you return soon enough from your work. But I know the way home, and the heath is no terrors for me.
You like dancing as much as ever, then?
I do.
Well, will you dance with me?
Will it not seem strange?
What strangeness can there be in relations dancing? If you don't want to be recognised, pull down your veil.
Now then, ma'am, I think you would do well to visit your son and his new wife.
What do you mean?
I saw something at the dance just now I didn't like the look of at all. I wish your son's house and Mr. Wildey's were 100 miles apart, not 4 or 5.
Then there was an understanding between him and Clem's wife when he made a fool of Tamsin.
Let's hope there is no understanding now.
Well, I had thought of going. I would be much happier if we were reconciled. He is my only son. I forgave Tamsin long ago. I'll forgive him now. I will go.
I hope you reached home safely yesterday.
Yes, you need not speak so low. No one will hear.
Then Clem is not here.
Yes, he is here. He is asleep. You will not wake him.
But why does he sleep there?
He is very weary. He went out at 4:30 this morning and has been working ever since. You don't know how differently he appeared when I first saw him. His hands were as soft and white as mine. See how rough and brown they are now.
The fates have not been kind to you, Eustacia Yeobright,
I have nothing to thank them for.
and neither has he, except their one great gift to him.
I am a questionable gift.
I'm afraid that he doesn't value his prize. He doesn't know what it's like to lose the woman that he loves.
He's not ungrateful for winning me. But do I desire too much in wanting life, music, poetry, passion, and all the beating and pulsing that goes on in the great arteries of the world? That was my dream, and I thought I saw the way to it in Clym.
God, how I envy that sweet sleep. Who's that?
Great heavens, this is Mrs. Yeobright and she's seen me. You must go, quickly. I should let her in, but I can't.
Eustacia!
He is waking. He
Eustacia!
won't let her in.
Eustacia! Eustacia, what's the matter?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
I dreamt of Mother again. When the heath is cool, I'm going to walk across to visit her. This heartache has gone on for far too long.
Too much. How could he bear to do it? Why did Clym not open the door to me? I know he was there because I saw his hook and brambles by the door, and yet he lets her shut the door against me. 'Tis a long way home, and I shan't get there until evening.
I shall. We have supper at 6 o'clock. You look quite pale. Have you seen a ghost?
I've seen a lot worse. A woman's face at a window pane.
Is that a bad sight?
I was shut out. She must have set him against me. Well, I wouldn't have done it to a neighbour's cat on such a fiery day as this.
You must be a curious woman to talk like that.
No, not at all.
Why do you do that every time you take a step?
Because I have a burden which is heavier than I can bear.
How funny you draw your breath, like a lamb, when he's nearly done for. Do you always draw your breath like that?
No, not always.
Do you want me any more? Why, what should I tell Mother?
Tell her you've seen a broken-hearted woman, cast off by her son.
I know what 'tis. She's been bit by an adder.
Oh, yes. I remember seeing such a bite when I was a child.
Well, there's only one cure. You must rub the place with the fat of other adders, and the only way to get that is by frying them.
That is an old remedy, and I have my doubts about it.
It's a sure cure. I've used it before. I'll try to catch them.
But we can do nothing now until the doctor arrives. Here's my shawl to keep her warm.
I'll go and fetch him now.
Come, Mrs. Yeobright, come with us. Go in.
My poor mother.
Have you heard the news about Mr. Wildy, Eustacia? He's come into a fortune of £11,000. Uncle died in Canada and Waldy's got everything. Now he is a lucky man. What a fool you were, Eustacia.
Why?
I didn't know till lately there was anything between ye. And faith, if I'd have known, I'd have been hot against it. But seeing there was some sniffing between ye, why the deuce didn't you stick to him?
I think I may have got into trouble this morning by not letting Clym's mother in. I assume I must congratulate you.
On what? Oh, yes, my £11,000. Seeing as I didn't get something else, I must be content with that.
What shall you do with the money?
Invest some, keep some, and travel with the rest.
Travel? Where will you go?
Well, I think firstly I'll go to Paris, yes. And then to Greece, Egypt, Palestine, maybe to the Americas in the summer, perhaps Australia, but I will definitely end up in Paris.
Paris again. You think a good deal of Paris. You will be travelling the world and I will be staying here.
It is a serious case. She has suffered badly from the bite of the adder, but exhaustion has overpowered her. My impression is that her walk must have been exceptionally long.
I used to tell her not to exert herself in this kind of weather.
I'm sorry, Clem.
Mrs. Yeobright is dead.
I'm afraid so, Charlie. Afraid so.
I've got something to tell you, Mr. Clem. Poor Mrs. Yeobright asleep there walked along with me today. She said she was a broken-hearted woman cast off by her son.
Yes, we did. Well, he knows everything, so he would just by a snake.
What about that terrible business of poor Mrs. Yeobright's death?
Terrible. Her dying like that up on the Heath. See, poor Clem. He hadn't regained his senses, not since his mother died.
Well, he blames himself for her death.
Well, that young Jenny now, she did say 'twas Miss Bye that shut the door against her.
Oh, a tragic tale to be sure.
Exactly.
I don't know how he's ever going to look that wife of his in the face again.
Knowing what she
No.
did.
Oh,
just right, because I mean, if my son had a wife
Well,
like that,
I'd say, get her on.
Clem, you look out of sorts. What is the matter?
Your face, my dear. Your face. Or is it the pale morning light that takes your colour away? You held my happiness in the palm of your hands. And like the devil, you dashed it down!
You think to frighten me whilst I'm alone?
How funny it is that you should be alone. Tell me, where is he? Where is he?
There is no one here except us.
There was, though, on the day you shut the door against my mother and killed her. Tell me, where is she?
Clem, do you think you dare do anything to me that I dare not bear? Kill me if you will.
Kill you? Kill you? I will not kill you. I will not touch you. Stand over there and confess every word.
Never.
By my wretched soul, Eustacia, you sting me. Tell me his name.
Never. I'm resolved. I've not done what you suppose, but I'm beyond forgiveness.
Did not one grain of pity enter your heart as you turned that weary woman away?
You exaggerate fearfully, but I cannot enter into my defence. I've lost all through you. Is this your cherishing? To put me in a hut and keep me like a woodcutter's wife?
I don't know what you mean by that. Am I the cause of your sin?
Oh, have done! You are too relentless. I confess that I did not undo the door the first time she knocked. And I should have undone it the second. I thought you were gone to do it yourself. When I saw you had not, I opened it. But she was gone. That's the extent of my crime. Now I shall leave you. Forever and ever.
You need not go. I will go. You stay here.
No. I'll go to my grandfather's house.
Were
Where are you going with all that then, Charlie?
I've a mind to cheer up poor Miss Eustacia by building her a bonfire. She does love him, you know.
Mind you don't use up all the captain's winter fuel. God, yeah.
Oh, there's some flowers there.
I did not light a fire. Do not come near.
Oh, Eustacia, forgive me the harm that I have done you. Do you wish to escape this place altogether? Only say it, and I will do anything to end those tears.
Help me as far as Budmouth, and then I can get to Paris, where I want to be.
Then you are resolved. Shall I come too? I shall meet you tonight at the top of the road with my carriage, and then we shall go away together.
Jenny, did you see what that Miss Eustacia Vi was wearing today, apart from her dark dress?
A red ribbon around her neck?
A red ribbon. Thank you, Jenny. You may go. Amen. Ever and ever for glory the and power the kingdom the is thine for evil from us deliver, but temptation into not us lead.
Been seen together again. Think they mean to run off tonight. Oh, Cliff, please do something.
Tamsin, what dreadful thing has brought you out on a night like this?
Jamie and Eustacia have been seen together again. Please help us.
We need more help. Come, quick!
Shall I go with him? Must I drag on next year as I've dragged on this year and the year after that? I have tried and tried to be a splendid woman, but destiny has turned against me. All the cruelty of putting me into this ill-conceived world! I was capable of much, but has been injured and crushed and blighted by things beyond my control.
Eustacia! Eustacia!
Good God! Could that be Eustacia?
But why should it be she?
Because last week she would have put an end to her life if she was able. Oh, someone ought to have watched her. Come, quick!
Where is he? Miss Sansom!
Stay away! Stay away! Come with me!
What, Ollie? How is Mr. Clym now?
Mr. Clym is better, but poor Eustacia and Mr. Wildeve are dead and cold. The doctor said they've quite gone before they were out of the water.
I thought as much when I hauled him out. And how is Tamsin?
She is as well as can be expected. The doctor had her put between blankets, for she was almost as wet as they that had been in the river. Poor things. Mrs. says you are to have whatever you want.
What are those?
Poor Mr. Wildeve's banknotes. They were found in his pocket when they undressed him.
Then he was not coming back for some time.
That We will never know.
Please. Captain Vyse sent me to inquire if anything has been heard of Miss Eustacia, and Mrs. Yeobright, I mean.
She's dead, Charlie. Drowned in Shadwater Weir. And so is Mr. Wildeve, who tried to save her.
Dead? Or can I see her once more?
Well, yes, but first hadn't you better run and tell Captain Vi the terrible news?
Yes. Yes. Only I do hope I shall see her just once again. You shall. She looks very beautiful now. She is the second woman that's died because of me. It is I that ought to have drowned. It'd be better for the living if the river had overwhelmed me and borne her up.
You can't commit yourself with crimes in that way. What will you do now?
Shut myself away. Become a preacher and study the Bible. Maybe I can teach those what I could never learn myself.
Goodbye, Clem.
You are leaving Egdon?
There's nothing for me here now.
Are you sure of that? Have you asked her?
Well, no.
Then perhaps you should.
Since I no more do see your face upstairs or down below, I'll sit me up on that lonesome place where flat bough beech do grow. Below the beech's boughs, my love, where you did never come, and I won't look to miss you now, as I do look at home.
Since you no more be at my side in walks in summer heads, I'll go along where mist do ride through trees a dripping wet. Below the rain-wet bough, my love, where you did never come, and I don't look to miss you now, as I do look at home.
And the king rose up to meet her, and bowed himself unto her, and sat down on his throne. And he caused a seal to be set for the king's mother, and she sat down on his right hand. And she said, I desire one small petition of thee. I pray thee, say me not nay. And the king said unto her, Ask on my mother, for I will not say thee nay.
And him who was once the riddle man, Diggory Venn himself.
And now we're getting ready for another wedding. Let's be quick or we'll miss the celebration.
Thank you very much indeed for your kind applause, ladies and gentlemen. I know you've had a wonderful evening. It was a fantastic performance here from our wonderful cast, crew and musicians. Thank you very much indeed. I hope you have a very safe journey home. The cast and crew now have that pleasurable job of taking down the entire set and packing it away. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.